Hello everyone, and welcome to my General Hospital official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Sam offers Maxie's crammed apartment problem a resolution, and Eddie gets into a bar fight with Spoiler. Sam visits Maxie's with a bottle of wine and some ice cream. She claims that because Dante arrived late to work and the boys were at the queues, she assumed they might catch up. Sam inquires about her children. Maxie claims that Bailey and the other two are with her parents. James and Georgie start yelling at one another all of a sudden. James alleges Georgie smashed one of his belongings when Maxie calls the kids outside to check out what is going on. James notices the ice cream that Sam brought as Maxie takes Georgie to her room so they may talk. James is discovered eating ice cream from a bowl as Maxie returns. She advises James not to consume all of the ice cream and that Georgie will sleep in her room. With the bowl in hand, he dashes to his room. Maxie complains that she needs more room, but that none of the options she has seen will work. Sam might know how to fix it. The former home of Dante. According to Maxie, it was also Lulu's home. After talking about her trips with Lulu, Maxie swiftly decides that she shouldn't discuss Lulu with Sam. It's okay, according to Sam, because Dante just took Charlotte to see Lulu and Rocco frequently brings her up. Maxie believes it's horrible that the house has been unoccupied, while Sam feels it might have been a bad decision. She inquires as to Dante's position towards her residing there. Sam is confident he would rent it to her. They start talking about Sasha and how odd it is that she suddenly broke down. Sam is told by Maxie that she did not observe any evidence of Sasha resuming drug use. James is attempting to flee with an ice cream carton when Maxie notices him behind her and commands him to drop it. Later, after the kids are finally asleep, Sam and Maxie enjoy some alone time. Maxie queries Sam about his sisters. Sam claims that Molly is almost back to normal, and she is pleased of Christina since she appears to be getting her life together. Read more about the possible change to Carly's romantic life. Marshall discovers Trina's reappearance when he gets home to Portia's. When Portia goes to get her, she discovers that she has left and that she had to leave quickly. She wishes she hadn't visited Spencer. He warns her not to cause herself harm in this way. Trina is glad to be home, and soon they will all be living together, which makes her happy. Before Curtis was shot, Marshall was preparing to move out because he believes he should. More than ever, according to Portia, they require his presence, and Curtis will require his and Trina's assistance. She just isn't certain if Marshall should help her. Portia is informed by Marshall that this is untrue. She is his daughter-in-law, and she was instrumental in altering his perception of his condition, which was schizophrenia. Curtis might spend the rest of his life in a wheelchair, and Portia still feels it's her responsibility. He assures her that she is not to blame for a stray bullet, but she sobs as she recalls the years she spent lying. If only she had been truthful sooner. Marshall advises her to move on and stop thinking about the what-ifs. He asserts that everyone must advance. If it's too late for her and Curtis, Portia is unsure. Marshall claims that for Curtis to proceed, all of them are necessary, even his wife. He gives her a hug and assures her everything will be fine. Trina runs into Finn at the hospital and asks for his assistance. She has to see her father before Curtis leaves for treatment because she knows he will be leaving tomorrow. Finn is unable to assist her, but she claims that if Violet begged someone to assist her in seeing him, he would want them to do so. Curtis experiences a nightmare about the shooting in his bedroom. Liz calls to see whether he's alright. She notices from his chart that he is going to rehab tomorrow. She predicts it will be challenging, but he is resilient and will cope. Curtis tells her to just state that he will have to get used to living his entire life in a chair. Later, Trina and Liz cross paths in the hallway. Liz remarks that Trina is late. Liz asks if there is anything she can do to assist. Dr. Finn is working on something for her, according to Trina. She beams as she receives a text. Finn enters to see Curtis, who surmises that given the time, Finn is not present for a medical emergency. Finn believes he can still help him even though he can't make him well. Trina enters as soon as he Trina that it's getting late as Finn departs from the group. She is aware that he doesn't want to see her, but she felt compelled to apologize to him in person before he entered treatment. What is she apologizing for, he queries. She claims that she changed her mind after learning that he had kissed Jordan, but he doesn't hold that against her. She claims that he will continue to be her father whether or not he and her mother can reconcile. She no longer wants to be the foolish and self-centered person who turned away from him. She has never been selfish, according to Curtis, and she is obviously not a fool. He thinks back to his ability to defend her and provide the father she needed in Greenland. She sobs, telling him that he will always be the father she needs, and she quotes his words upon awakening following surgery, "I need my daughter." They embrace as she sobs and cries that she is staying put. Finn receives a call concerning a patient at the nurse's station. As Liz looks on, Finn requests that an orb be made accessible before taking off. When Alexis returns home, she discovers Christina wearing a face mask while watching TV on her couch. This surprises Alexis. In order to see the How to Catch a Killer season finale, Christina says she lost her internet and came here. The next time she comes over, Alexis says she will text her to let her know so she won't have a heart attack, even though she loves her. Christina chuckles at how dramatic her mother is and how she didn't anticipate her staying out so late. According to Alexis, she was having fun while crossing items off of someone else's bucket list. Who is the person behind Pikeman, exactly? Alexis tells Christina about visiting the axe-throwing facility and how it was quite thrilling after changing. On the table, she notices some books, and Christina identifies them as coming from Sam. They are discussing business management, as Alexis can see. Why did she bring the books? Alexis wonders if she came over to see her show. All of a sudden, she believes Christina intended to set them afire. Sam was correct when she advised Christina that she needed to learn about logistics and preparation, despite her adamant denials that she would burn them. Alexis gloats that she overheard Christina admit that her sister was correct and that she couldn't take it back. Sam was correct, according to Christina, and the books have been beneficial. According to Christina, receiving the present made her feel special to Sam. What happens when Alexis claims that's because she loves her? Christina declares that she will see this endeavor through because the knowledge she gained from the books makes her feel wonderful. Alexis is happy with her. Someone is hiding outside in the woods while Dante visits Anna. She expresses gratitude for his late arrival. Anna asks if he's heard of a corporation named Pikeman and says she has information that may or may not be connected to the shooting case. Hasn't he? They are a defense contract company, as Anna says, and agents from both Pikeman and the WSB can enter and exit through a rotating door. Valentin, who was hired by Pikeman, corroborated this. Valentin responds that this was years ago, when he was still with the WSB, and that they had him working on logistics, but never letting him get close to the inner workings. Dan inquires as to if Valentin still works for Pikeman. Where is Valentin now? Had to go deal with a water main break at ELQ, according to Anna. Dante is taken aback by what Valentin told her about Pikeman. She acknowledges that she had to prod him because he dislikes discussing his background. Danny queries her on whether she believes Pikeman was involved in the attempt on her life. Hannah tells him that during her debriefing following the events in Greenland, she noticed a folio bearing the Pikeman insignia at the agent's workspace. Anna doesn't believe it could be a coincidence, despite Dante's assertion. She speculates that the WSB might be utilizing Pikeman for personal gain. Dandy believes it was hazardous for the WSB to give Pikeman the gun used in the shooting, as they might easily be identified. Anna claims that the WSB has always taken chances. Dante will endeavor to learn as much as he can because he can tell that she thinks this hypothesis to be true. Carly takes Olivia to the high cider because she feels like Jake would enjoy it. Olivia goes to wash her hand after putting it in a pool of something sticky on a table. When Carly enters the pub and gets 2 beers, Eddie sees her, thinks she's entertaining, and starts chatting with her. Once again, Olivia discovers that Carly has met Eddie. He queries Olivia's presence. Olivia notes that this is exactly the kind of location she used to frequent when she was younger. Eddie claims to have been speaking to Carrie just now, but both women correct him, saying, Carly. Olivia pulls Carly aside, convinced that her husband is pursuing her as a potential date. Before Eddie shouts to them that he's becoming lonely at the pub, Carly has her concerns. Olivia urges Carly to keep Eddie company before he turns to someone else as he starts to serenade at her. Mason appears as Carly gets back to Eddie, complimenting Olivia on how lonely and attractive she is. She attempts to make it clear to Mason that she is uninterested, but he won't listen. She pushes Mason away as he places his hands on her. Carly informs Eddie in the bar that she has heard he is staying with the Quartermains. He claims that despite being with Sunny, he felt as though his attractive fiancée, Nina, was obstructing his manner. She brings up his residence at the Quartermains. Leo and Eddie both claim to like one another, but Olivia isn't intrusive. She apologizes after slamming his foot with hers because she mistakenly thought she saw an insect. She returns to the Quartermains, claiming them to be decent people. Perhaps he ought to allow them to get to know him, and vice versa. She is aware of another person who was in his shoes and who later fell in love. Soon after, Eddie notices Mason being too close to Olivia and rushes to her defense. Mason claims that Olivia wants this, but Olivia replies it's not what she wants, so Eddie decks Mason. When Mason pushes him against the bar, a full-fledged brawl ensues. Mason pushes Ned to the ground before pursuing Olivia, his prey. Mason is suddenly hit with a bottle that Carly just got from the bartender. Olivia rushes to Eddie to see how he is doing. Eddie inquires, "Did I get him?" She says, "You got him all right," as Mason passes out. Soon after, Eddie notices Mason being too close to Olivia and rushes to her defense. Mason claims that Olivia wants this, but Olivia replies it's not what she wants, so Eddie decks Mason. When Mason pushes him against the bar, a full-fledged brawl ensues. Mason pushes Ned to the ground before pursuing Olivia, his prey. Mason is suddenly hit with a bottle that Carly just got from the bartender. Olivia rushes to Eddie to see how he is doing. Eddie inquires, "Did I get him?" She says, "You got him all right," as Mason passes out. In the upcoming episode of General Hospital, Olivia will not accept responsibility for her actions at the PCPD. "Anyone want to make a call?" says Chase. The camera flashes at Eddie. "What did you expect?" Awad asks the caller. Finn tells Liz there is someone who would be better for Violet as they are on the footbridge. Mason tells Austin in his office that Austin has just as much writing on this as he does. Danny queries Sam in bed. Whose idea was that? When Nina awakens, Sunny is not in his bed. Sunny shows up to the PCPD and inquires of Carly as to her objections to what he is doing. Anna is still being watched.